Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to do a prediction video slash what I want to see in a Switch 2. Yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, but I do want to do a video talking about this because, with the Switch 2 coming out in a couple weeks, or, well, not coming out, I mean, getting announced, well, we already have it announced, but we don't know much about the console. We're going to get a direct in a couple weeks. As long as it doesn't get pushed back for anything, but I think, as long as everything goes good, it should be releasing on, I believe, April 2nd. So I kind of want to do a prediction video for you guys, especially since I now found my phone, so I can actually do a prediction video for you guys. So if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I am trying to get to 1K subs. I'm over halfway there. Thank you for the subs. And you guys can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And you guys can also check out my reviews and stuff too. And I also do Let's Plays on my channel too. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So, the Switch 2, as I stated, is getting a release date. I believe, well, it hasn't had a release date yet, but there is a direct. I assume it's gonna probably be, talking about its release date and all that. And I kind of want to discuss this here and all that, and kind of what my thoughts are on all this, and what I want to see and what we could possibly get, with the Switch 2, and all that. So first up, let's talk about, well, before I talk about my thoughts on the Switch 2, itself, which I've kind of discussed before, but I'll talk a little bit more about it in this video. Because we've had some stuff, some people talk about it since. Let's first talk about what we know about it. First, we know that it's going to be it's going to be bigger. The joysticks are going to be a lot bigger. It's going to have a mouse effect feature. And it's going to, it's going to be called Switch 2. Which is what a lot of people were saying, so, Nintendo going and taking down people's videos was kind of annoying and all that. Nintendo, gets pretty salty about this stuff, if it even shows it, I think people have accidentally showed it all before, and because they accidentally revealed it, they, get it taken down. And I'm like, if you don't want them to reveal the stuff, that's fine, but don't just take down their stuff, if people, accidentally reveal it or something, just, have them blur it out. Don't just completely erase their content, because that's their work, we have Nintendo doing all that crap and all that, and this and that, and, pretty much everything people has been saying, though, actually has been true. That said, though, we don't have a lot of info on what the Switch 2 is going to feature, Because if we look back in the past, at least from the Wii, to, the Switch, we've had some stuff they've included stuff like Mii Maker, they've included, we had the Wii, the Wii had its Wii channel and all, it had a Nintendo, Nintendo, Weather Channel and all that, which was pretty cool. The Wii U had, its own Nintendo browser, and all that. The DSi had its, camera. It had its camera. It had its own, shop and all that, and so did the 3DS and all that, and, we had all that stuff. And then we had the Switch, which, personally, in my opinion, I think the Switch is kind of overrated. I think it's an overrated console. Yeah, I know people won't like me saying that, but I think the Switch is an overrated console. I keep saying this, I think when the Switch is done for, I think it's not going to hold up as well as people think it's going to. Now, don't get me wrong, I mean, it has a lot of games on it, a lot of popular ones. I played some of them. The problem is, though, is the Switch, doesn't have a lot going for it, I feel like. Like, I will say it feels so empty. Like, for example, like, there's, like, no theme. Like, if you go to the shop or something, they have no shop theme music. They don't have that. They don't have, like, a Nintendo browser like the Wii U and 3DS and DSi did. I don't remember if the Wii had one or not. I can't remember. But even, like, then it had, like, music that played and all that was really cool. You could change the backgrounds on the 3DS and all that. And then, I don't remember if you could do that with the Wii U, but it was really cool. And then, not to mention, like, when you, like, pop in a game on, like, the Wii or something, it'll play, like, cool sound effects. Same with the 3DS and all that. I can't remember if the DSi does that or not. I haven't been paying attention to that. But I know the 3DS, like, if you put Dark Moon in there, it'll, like, which, by the way, is a port on the Switch. It'll make, sounds like that. Like, when you click on the game. It's pretty cool. Not to mention all that stuff kind of included. Like, they had, like, a lot of this stuff had their own games, too. Like, well, I don't remember if I don't think the Wii had one, but the DSi had not just a camera, it had, like, Flipnote Studios. Yeah, it had Flipnote Studios. It had Flipnote Studios. It had Brain Age and all that. That was pretty cool. Like, it had games that were actually included on it. Same with the 3DS and all that, And I don't remember if the Wii U had any of that or not. I don't remember. But I know the Switch does not have a lot of stuff. The Switch really sucks with a lot of this stuff. Like the freaking camera is not great on it. Like, compared to the 3DS. Sure, you can, like, record, like, you can screen record stuff, but, like, for, like, 30 seconds. Like, 30 seconds. To be fair, though, I don't have an SD card in my Switch, so maybe it could do longer. But when I was reading and all that, and I've been through multiple articles and all that, and multiple, like, sources, and they say you can only go up to 30 seconds of screen recorded on there. And again, you can't even, like, hear your voice speak. I was trying to look for that, too. So I don't know if, like, maybe if you put an SD card in it, it would change that. Because on the 3DS, if you put an SD card in it, you can take videos. Because if you don't have an SD card in your 3DS, or 2DS, or whatever, whenever you have, you can't, do that stuff. So I don't really know about that. But I do know that if they do make a Switch 2, we already know they're making one. Like, when they release it, I'm hoping they actually, like, add stuff like that. Like, give us screen recorder stuff. Give us that. So we can screen record things. Like, give us that. And also give us, give us screen recording stuff. Give us, like, an actual camera. Like, a real camera, and not this cheap stuff. And actually, give the new Switch, give it, like, actual themes. Like, we need actual themes for the Switch. I'm not sure if you can actually buy any or not, like, on this, but the 3DS and all that, you could actually change your themes up. Because honestly, it's just so small. Like, it's so small. Now, some people are saying they didn't add some of this stuff because they didn't want to go to the Wii U route, but that's the problem. Like, that's what made the Wii U so cool, And I get they didn't want to go the Wii U route with certain stuff, but the reason why the Wii U failed was because it wasn't advertised very well. It's not because they didn't add that stuff to there. That's what makes the Wii U so good, and I think it still holds up very well. It's because although the games were not as good, I don't feel like on that console, they actually did add, stuff to it that made it really unique, Plus you had, like, the Mii characters that would, like, play music and clap on your birthday. That was really cool. The Switch, though, is just so boring. Like, it's really boring. Like, I'm sorry. It's very boring. There's not really much of a theme to it, I mean, you can still go on there and make Mii characters and all that, but there's like nothing really else to it, really. You know, it really sucks. Like, it really does. Like, you can't buy themes and all that for your shop and all that, and at least that I'm aware of, I have not been able to find anything. It's just freaking boring. Again, what made the Switch 1 so good, I feel like, what made it sell well was the games. But then again, I'm like how well are they gonna hold up, you know, after a while? Because if we look back at the Switch 1, and look back too at the games, you know, a lot of them were ports of older consoles. So some people might be comparing them, you know, and all that, and be like, this is actually better on the older console than a new console, you know? So, I don't know, but I'm really hoping with the Switch 2, I feel they need to actually make some more games, like, make some more original games, I feel like. Like, we need more original games. Like, we had some and all that, but a lot of them were, like, from the Wii U and all that, were not, like, we had ones from the Wii U, or, you know, games that were ported already, like, we could have had, like, some new games, you know? Now, don't get me wrong, we've gotten some interesting games, like, we got, like, ourselves a, you know, like, Luigi's Mansion 3 and all that, but we also have gotten a lot of ports, like, we got a Luigi's Mansion, you know, like, Dark Moon HD, or Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, we got that, we got that stuff, we got, like, you know, a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we got New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which, that one I've heard some mixed opinions on. Like, I feel like we need some new games on this one. We might get some, because honestly, I feel like they're gonna start running out of things to port, you know, and all that, and I feel like they kind of need to do that. Now, speaking of the Switch 2, by the looks of it, I still stand by what I said before. I think it doesn't look that impressive. It looks a little too much like an original Switch, as you guys see there. Although, if you guys look down there, you can see there's like a couple more buttons. Like, they have another button that's added down there, too. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's like it looks a little too much like it. Now, it does look bigger, like, so maybe it'll be easier to kind of hold. Because personally, in my opinion, trying to hold that stuff, like I can hold it fine, but I feel like I keep accidentally pressing some of the buttons by accident, you know? So, you know, I feel like, you know, that would be kind of something, you know, they probably should do and all that, but I don't want to judge it, you know, again, too much, because we don't really know much about it right now. I do know it's going to be backwards compatible. I believe with the original Switch, it's going to be backwards compatible. So it's going to sound like the Wii U situation, or like the Super Nintendo, where it's going to be backwards compatible with the games. So, I mean, I guess in a way, you'll have all those games, plus new ones that'll be added to it, too, so that could be something, but as for right now, all we have for, you know, this console here is a new Mario Kart. Now, that said, though, I do want to point out this. That we do have that. But I want to point out that I have a feeling we could end up getting another 3D Mario, too. I have a feeling that could happen. Like, I think we could probably get ourselves another 3D Mario. Because if you notice this, if you guys noticed all this, have you noticed how, a lot of times when a Nintendo console, you know, gets announced, we get, like, another big Mario game? I mean, not always, but, like, for example, like the Wii and all that, like, wait, did the Wii come out it came out in 2006, I think, but I think it came out around the end of the year, while a lot of the other consoles had been coming out beforehand, but at least in, like, the, you know, year or so, like, we got in, like, you know, like, the first year, we got in ourselves a big game. We got ourselves a big game. And this console, like, I think this console is probably going to come out probably later this year. I have a feeling it'll probably come out probably at the end of the year. I can totally see it being, I can totally see the Nintendo Switch, too, you know, and all that, coming out and all that, and we're probably going to be getting some pretty big Mario games probably announced. Like, I can see that. I can see us getting one of those. we're probably gonna get ourselves another main Mario game, because like I said, pretty much every console. I mean, well, not every single one, but almost every console almost everyone we've gotten, we usually get like a huge Mario game, like, you know, in like the first year or so, like, you know, when they announced the console. Because I would say the first year, but a lot of times they actually release these consoles at the at the end of the year, you know. So, I mean, the reason why I think the Switch 2 came out so early is because the Wii U was such a flop. They needed a new console, so they wanted to make the Switch, you know. So that became a thing, and then they kind of just, I mean, they still had some games that released on the Wii U because they didn't know how well the Switch was gonna do. But once they saw it was doing very well, they kind of discontinued the Wii U altogether. They say it got discontinued in 2016, but, or not 2016, 2017, but I think they were still making some games there, because it even had Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was released in there too, you know. Yeah, I actually didn't even know that game was on the Wii U for a long time, and I found that out. And that was a few years ago. I found that out that game was on there, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I can see us getting probably a new Mario game, like a new 3D Mario game. I can see that. I don't know if we'll get a new Paper Mario game right now. I think we're still gonna be waiting on that, but another thing I can probably see us getting, you know, is possibly another maybe a Zelda game or something, you know. Like, I think we might get a Zelda game, you know. There's also another franchise I wanted to talk about too, but I'm gonna kind of save it for its own video. But I think there's a rumor that we might be getting another Katamari game. I don't know if it's been announced yet or not, but that could be released on the Switch too as well. You know, it could be released too, but I don't really know. I don't know, like I said, but I kind of heard something about that. Like, it might be Katamari Once Upon a Time or something like that. I think that's what it's going to be called. So that'd be kind of crazy, because technically that would be the first actually new mainline Katamari game in, like, several years. I mean, we've had some and all that, but we've had some mobile ones and all that, but we haven't had an actual new one in a long time. So if that's true, that'd be really cool. But I've been wanting to do a video on that anyway, talking about kind of like this, or I'm talking about kind of what I want and what we might be getting, you know. But since it sounds like we might be getting another Katamari game, I might just make it like this, you know, just in case. But I don't know. But that's the thing though. I don't know what all games will be getting announced on here, but I do know I think we're gonna get probably some big ones probably announced here. Another thing is now this is something I don't know if they'll do or not, but I really want them to do this. Is we need GameCube games on the Switch on shop. Or the Switch 2 shop. We need GameCube games. See, we get NES, we get, N64, Super NES, we get, Wii and all, Wii U, well, actually, yeah, Wii U and Wii were only on the, I think on the other console, but we've gotten some of those, and, but we haven't really got any actually GameCube games. So far, the only way to play GameCube games is on the GameCube, so most of those games are just stuck on there right now. Now that said, though, this is something I'm kind of concerned about the Switch 2, and with that is, are they gonna, triple down on the whole, Nintendo Online stuff? Where you gotta pay a monthly fee to play this stuff? Because if that's the case, then I'm I don't even know if I want to bother, I'm I mean, it may not seem like a bunch of money, but it starts adding up after a while, so I'm is it even worth it, I don't know. Speaking of Nintendo, I know they also have done this thing. Apparently there was something gold stars or something like that. Gold stars or gold points. Yeah, and apparently they don't do those anymore either, so Nintendo's not making as many deals. So I don't really know how well this is gonna do, and all. That's the problem. Because that's the thing that with Nintendo, the thing is with Nintendo is their games have been getting better with stuff. But unfortunately, as a company, they've been kind of getting more and more strict and kind of annoying, with stuff. So I don't really know how this will work here, because pretty much when the Switch, when the original Switch, launched too, they pretty much, shut down all the shops and all that on the older consoles. I mean, they were starting to do that kind of anyway with the DSi. They did it in 2016. They did that, but actually, was it 2016 or 2017? No, wait, it was 2016. I think they were announcing they were doing it, and then 2017 is when they shut it down. I think is what it was. But yeah, they've been getting kind of bad with that too, and I mean, my biggest problem is some of the games control better on the older consoles too, and Nintendo's gonna be making you pay all this money to play the games, and I feel like, I don't know, I kind of rather just have this crap on the older consoles again, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things I don't really like about that, but I don't know, we'll have to see about that. I'm trying to think what else I could see them adding. Well, it sounds like they're gonna actually have amiibo ports too. So I'm glad they're still doing stuff with the amiibos. I hate though that you can't get them at the stores as much anymore. Like, I have to actually go online to buy a lot of amiibos anymore, and it's annoying, Now, I will say the amiibo stuff, I actually do kind of like the amiibos. They're kind of a little bit of extra stuff you can have with your games. It's pretty cool. They just don't really use them that much. That's the problem. Like, I wish there was more games you could use the amiibos with, Like, that'd be kind of cool. But that's the problem. They don't really use... I mean, I'm not saying every game needs to use the amiibos, but I would like to have more of them, use them, Instead of them just being collector's items, Because I know a lot of people are buying them because I've seen a lot of YouTubers with them all over their shelves in the background and all that. Some people are showing them all off, So clearly people are buying them, but there's just not... I don't think there's a lot of games that actually use the amiibos, Like I want some more games that actually use them, because that's something the Wii U kind of did, and I think the Switch kind of does it, but again, it was more bigger on the the 3DS and the Wii U era, technically it started with the Wii U era, and then it kind of, then they had to, like, build something to make it work with the older, 3DSs and all that, because of that. But yeah, I don't know, but I kind of would like them to use more amiibo stuff too. That'd be nice. And I was talking to earlier about the whole screen recorder thing. Yeah, because I Let's Play games, I would like to have this stuff screen recorded. Personally, I'd rather get a capture card and do it, but unfortunately, capture cards they cost a lot of money, and I have one, but it's not working. And I can screen record games like on the PS5 and the Xbox. I think you can do it on the Xbox Series X. I don't know about the Xbox One, but in the PS4, but I do know you can do it on some of that stuff. So it just feels kind of, annoying, it's annoying, like I don't know why they have it like that, but I don't know, but I feel like that would be kind of cool if you can make it longer, and I'll make the videos longer, instead of 30 seconds, because 30 seconds is, like, not a lot at all. It's, like, not a lot. I don't like that at all, Especially if I hear, like, I'm hearing that it sounds like this console could be $400 or $450. I'm like, if that's the case, I'm like, I mean, that's a lot of money for a console, but I would hope they would actually put effort into it and actually add stuff to it, where the original Switch, they kind of didn't add a bunch to it. I mean, the original Switch, though, was not as expensive, but they did release one down the road. I can't remember what it's called. It, like, starts with an O and all that. It's like a white Switch and all that, but I think an OOD or something like that. But do something like that, you know, like actually add like stuff to it. That's what I'm afraid of. I mean, I'm hoping they'll actually, you know, add stuff to it. You know, that'd be cool. You know, instead of just making it freaking, you know, make it, you know, boring. Like actually add music, you know, to it. Speaking of music, for the shop, not only they could actually add music, but they wanted to, they could actually make it where you can like get music, you know, like different music for the shop, you know. So if you want to listen to the DSi theme shop music, you can have that on there, or you can have the Wii one or the Wii U or something, you know. That'd be so cool, you know. Like actually add like different, you know, songs, you know, to listen to, you know, when you're shopping for the shop, you know. But I don't know how well the shop's gonna be, because with the Nintendo Online thing, I don't know how well that'll be, you know. I actually don't even really use Nintendo Online. I really don't. Again, I'm not very happy that it's you can't access it on the older consoles, only the newer stuff. You know, I'm like, I mean, you can mod the older consoles, but I'm like I shouldn't have to mod it. You know, I if I'm gonna pay for like Nintendo Online, I would hope it would be, you know, able to be used on older consoles. You know. But that said, though, I don't know what else there really is to say. I mean, I am happy. I am kind of looking forward to see what they can do with this. But yeah, I definitely don't like the way it looks. Like I said, I'm hoping they actually do some more stuff to it with it. But that said, too, I don't hate this. I don't hate that they're making another console. I'm actually happy because we need a new console. I think the Switch is overstayed its welcome. You know, it's been like, people have been wanting another console for the last couple years now, you know, but I think actually the Switch is actually Nintendo's longest running console, you know. It wouldn't be handheld, though, I don't think. I think actually that would go to the DS's or the 3DS's. I don't know, let's see, the 3D, well, the DS's would have been I think it came out in 2000, was it 2004 or 2006? I can't remember when they came out. And then we had like that for a few years. I mean, and then we had the DSi's, which the DSi systems were like their own thing, you know. And then they released the 3DS's, which was like from 2011 all the way to you know, basically 2019 was the last year and all that. And then they kind of just ended it. But you know, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but we'll just have to see, you know, like what this console will be. But those are my predictions and what I want to see and my thoughts on the Switch 2 right now. Again, I don't want to judge it too much until it comes out, but that's my predictions for right now. Anywho, let me know what your guys' are in the comments below. See you guys later. Bye-bye.